everyone, this is Kat coming to you from home today. My final pack build for the Appalachian Trail. Today's Friday and I'm starting the drive down to Georgia on Tuesday. So I just have a couple days left and I thought I would do my backpack pack for the final time. Let's get started. I'm going to start off with clothes. Clothes is one of the biggest things that are going in my pack, and it took a lot of thought and care to select the outfits and the various pieces that I'm going to be bringing with me. Some of these I may be bringing with me only for a short time while it's like really cold or something, and I may be switching out gear for other gear as I go, as it gets hotter in the summer and then cool again in the winter or fall. But here's what I'm starting out with. The first thing is my puffy jacket. This is an REI co-op jacket. It is a men's Magma 850 fill down hoodie. It's a really lightweight jacket. I've been wearing it for a couple weeks now, just around town, around the house. I love it. It has a couple of zips. It has a chest zip and it also has pocket zips, and it's really warm. The hood is nice and big, so it fits over a hat and things like that. So I'm really loving this jacket. It was between many different jackets and I've tried out a lot of things. I think this one is my favorite so far. So Magma hoodie is what I'm going with for a down hoodie to start. Next big item is a rain jacket. So this is the rain jacket I chose. It is the Patagonia, I think it's the torrent shell jacket. So I went back and forth on rain jacket a lot as well. I have tried out Arc'teryx jackets. I've tried an Outdoor Research helium jacket. I think this one has the most functionality I was looking for. So it's not as lightweight, but it is really hefty. I put this on in the shower and I was not able to get even a drop on me. So fabulous. It has some Velcro at the sleeves. So if I want to tighten the sleeves up, I can do that. And this one also has a lot of zippers. So it has a chest, I think it has a chest zip somewhere. And it also has like pockets. The final thing it has are pit zips. So I think I mentioned this on one of my last videos. I really wanted a rain jacket with pit zips in case it's raining, but it's also really hot during one of the days. So Patagonia torrent shell jacket for rain. Couple things over here. I have got a buff. So this is one of those things that you can wear like around your neck, sort of as a scarf. I also plan to double this up as a face mask. So if I've got to go into a town and there's a mask mandate, I can easily just put it from my neck, pull it up over my nose and mouth, and then I've got kind of like a makeshift mask. So that's the buff scarf face mask strategy that I have. I've also got gloves, and you'll see in here I have 2 pairs of gloves for each hand. So this pair of gloves is from Z-Packs. It's the Possum Conductive Glove. So I'm really liking these for like their warmth, but they are a little bit, they get wet and they don't really dry that easily in my experience. So I also have a pair, I think these are Under Armour, and I got these a million years ago, and they are a little bit more waterproof. They are also touch sensitive, so if I only need one layer, I can certainly wear one or the other, but I've been using these in the harsh New England weather, shoveling, getting through snow, walking around in the rain, and this strategy of 2 gloves has really been working. It's pretty light, so I can't complain. We'll see how it goes. If I decide to send one home, then I decide to send one home. But I'm starting off with a pretty warm glove strategy because I know I'm gonna be cold. So that's gloves. For a hat, I did go through a lot of hat options, as I've mentioned on previous videos. So some of them were really great warmth, but they were too heavy. Some of them were cute, but they were the wrong material. Some of them were the right material and they were warm, but they didn't fit my head right. So I've really gone to a lot of work to figure out a hat or a beanie that's gonna work for me. Serendipitously, I actually got this one through an Instagram connection. So if anybody follows Mountain Blaze Arts on Instagram, they make some hiker gear and they have an Etsy store. So I went through their store. This is actually a very ultra light hat. So it's there's wool on the outside and then there's some fleece on the inside, just like on a band around your ears. So I feel like with this, it's light, it's warm, the material is right, and it's kind of cute. So this is the hat I'll be going with. Socks. Socks were a big decision for me. Originally, I thought I had it down when it comes to socks, but what I was hearing is that this year is supposed to be really wet on the AT, and I don't want to get anything like trench foot or have wet feet for like a million days. Here's what I've done for that. For regular days, I have an Injinji trail weight sort of like ankle high sock. These are my favorite hiking socks. I will never be without these again. I think they're fabulous. They're toe socks. So you stick each toe into one of the little toe spaces. And this for me super cuts down on blistering. No blistering, these are fantastic socks. So for my everyday sock, Injinji trail weight runners. On cold days, or if it's like downpouring, I'm gonna wear 2 pair of socks. This pair is an Injinji trail liner. So these are much more lightweight than the trail weight sort of crew socks. These are really more like, you can almost see through them, they're so thin. I do wear these normally walking around town and I love them for the blister prevention, but they're not very thick. They are really thin. So I do sometimes get some rubbing on around my ankle area. And of course, neither of these are waterproof. So I also invested in a pair of seal skins. These are completely waterproof socks. So they're really, the only thing I don't like is they're really heavy because they're totally waterproof. But I was reading something on an article where people were wearing Injinjis underneath these and they had no blistering and they had dry feet at the end of the day. So when I'm slogging through my 5th day of rain, this is really gonna come in handy, I think. So 3 pairs of socks for me. Not everyone might be interested in this, but these are my panties. It is a good material, moisture wicking, all of that. I have 1 to wash and 1 to wear. So that's what I'm wearing for panties. Getting down to my pants strategy, I've got my trusty Prana Hall pants or Hala pants. These are fantastic. I really appreciate them. As a plus size woman, I have looked high and low for hiking pants that are stretchy, that will fit me, that look halfway decent. And this is the best pair I've found. I've taken them on a couple of shakedown hikes and I absolutely love this pair of pants. So Prana pants for me on the outside. These are gonna be my everyday. If it's really cold, I did bring a pair of Smartwool leggings. So these are Smartwool thermals. I think they might be 250. Again, merino wool just for that extra layer of warmth. If it gets down into like the teens or a single digits or something, I'm thinking probably in the Smokies, I'll need these and I might send them home after that. But for my starting out, these are the pants that I'm gonna wear. For sleeping, I have a pair of Athleta fleece-lined leggings, but these are really fantastic, super comfortable. They're from Athleta, so they're a little bit pricier than something I could have gotten, but I really love these. I've been wearing them around my house all winter, and I'm excited to bring these with me. They're also not too bad, they're pretty light. So my fleece-lined leggings. On the top layer, I have a couple of sports bras. So these are also from Athleta. They are the Solus bra, which I think is mostly used for yoga. But actually I've found that I can get through a pretty lengthy hike with one of these bras and it's very comfortable. So if I found myself in a situation where I even wanted to sleep with it on, I can sleep with one of these on. It's not really restricting. It's a really great active bra. So that's the one I'm bringing. Again, 1 to wash, 1 to wear. For sleeping, again, I am going to bring a merino wool top. So this is a minus 33 merino wool shirt. It's a long sleeve. So again, this I might switch out or send home once I get past the Smokies or past the cold weather. But for now, I wanted to make sure that I had something really warm to sleep in. So merino wool top. From a normal base perspective, when I'm hiking during the day, I like to hike in a tank top and then a fleece or a base layer. So that base layer might play multiple roles throughout the day. But for the tank top, I have some yin tanks from Athleta. These, again, are the best tanks that I found for myself. Again, as a plus size woman, most of the outdoor companies that I have found don't have tank tops that work for my body type. So many of them are way too short for me because I'm also 6 foot tall. So they're too short or they're too tight, or they come down to like here. This tank top comes basically right near my collarbone right here. So I don't have to feel exposed in any way on the trail. I've hiked multiple hikes in these. I have it in multiple colors and I love it. So I'm bringing this one to wash and this one to wear or vice versa. So I've got 2 of those. And then finally, one of my favorite items that I have is my fleece. So I'm bringing a Patagonia R1 Air. So it's a little bit different from the Patagonia R1. You'll see that the outside material for for those who are familiar, looks a little different. It feels a little different, but this guy is so warm. So I feel like when I get up in the morning, maybe I'll have my puffy on, but once I start hiking, I'll definitely come down to a fleece and a tank top, or maybe even just that base layer merino wool shirt. So that's what I've got in terms of clothes. In terms of the food, I've had such a hard time planning for the amount of calories that I'm gonna need to eat. The typical knowledge is that people burn either up to or even a little bit over 4,000 calories a day. And of course, there's pretty much no way to eat 4,000 calories a day unless you're willing to resort to things like eating butter and drinking olive oil, which at this juncture, I am not willing to do. We'll see how long that lasts. So I don't anticipate needing to get 4,000 calories a day to get an even break. But I wanted to make sure that I had more than I would normally eat at home. I want to make sure that I'm healthy as much as possible on the trail. So getting good enough calories is part of that. For dinners for week 1, because I was like, let's keep it simple, I'm actually just bringing out some backpacking freeze-dried food because I had it laying around from some of my past shakedown hikes and from the season this year. So I was like, let's keep it easy and just use up what I already have. So this is a Mountain House. This is chicken Alfredo. I have a Peak Refuel butternut dal, so that sounds good. And I also have an Alpine Air pasta Roma. So those are kind of the 3, for a couple of nights I can have that. So I'll throw these in here. I also, for the 4th night, I'm anticipating our first stop will probably be like 4.5 days in. So I planned 4 nights worth of food. I have veggies, like freeze-dried veggies, because again, I want to keep it kind of healthy. And I have some rice. So it's just like a regular Nor rice side. I will be repacking things like this into Ziploc bags, but just I haven't done it yet. So this is what it looks like, but I will be packing it in something a little bit easier and lighter to carry around. So veggies and rice is part of it. Okay, then I also have a couple of other things. So I have lunch planned out for myself. And lunch I think is going to be a mix of a couple different snacks. The first thing I have are some tuna packets and some chicken packets. So I've got that. So I have 2 of each one of those. And going along with that, I have little packets of mayonnaise. So growing up in Boston's North Shore, I am one of those girls who dips their fries in mayonnaise. It's not good for you, but I actually really like mayonnaise. So I'm bringing this with me. This is a really good way to get fat and calories inside of those chicken and tuna packets. So I have a couple of these packs. If you want to do something similar, just know I bought these on Amazon, but they are sold in bulk. So I actually have a lot in here. I'm going to end up having like probably a couple of stops worth of little mayo packets. Hopefully on the trail I can find mayo that is like smaller than one of those massive jars if I want to continue with this strategy. But for now, just have a couple of these packets. Throw these in here. Okay. For breakfast, I'm planning on just doing bars. I cannot anticipate myself being one of those people that wants to cook in the morning. I think I'm gonna wanna get up, have a bar, start hiking, and get on my way so that I don't lose time in the morning. So I have a whole smorgasbord of bars here. Some I'm just trying out for the first time. I picked up some stuff at REI just to try it. So I have a Pro Meal bar on the go. I have a couple of protein bars from Builder's Protein. I think it's actually from Cliff, so it's Cliff brand. I got that. I really like Kind bars, so I have a few different breakfast bars from Kind, which I anticipate eating like 1 or 2 for breakfast. So I have those, and more of those. And then I also just enjoy regular Cliff bars. So I like the chocolate chip ones. I've always liked these. I often carry them on regular hikes. So I brought some of these for extra energy. And I have a bunch of snacks. So I have a few honey stinger waffles. If you've never had these before, these are really great for just like pulling out of your fanny pack or your hip belt and just munching on as you go up and down the trail. Delicious, not super nutritious, but hey, what are you gonna do? I have, well, this isn't food, but chamomile tea. So again, at the end of the night, if I want some tea, I can have it. As you can probably hear, I'm actually getting over being sick. Last week I was very, very sick with the flu, I think. It wasn't COVID, but it was the flu. So you can still hear a little bit of chest congestion. I still have a little bit of a runny nose, but I'm hoping that this weekend I'll get all healed up. But if not, I have some tea just to kind of soothe my throat at the end of the night. This is chocolate. It's actually not for me. This is for my friend Sam. This is vegan chocolate, and I found it in my pantry, and I thought that he might like a little treat as we start off. Maybe we'll share it, I don't know, but I was planning to bring him like a little present because I haven't seen him in a while. So I have some vegan chocolate for my friend Sam. I also have some coconut chips and some banana chips. So I'm gonna see how these go. I'll probably stuff these in my face because it's only like 140 calories. But again, just for some extra snacks. These will also be repacked in Ziploc bags. I'm not bringing it out like this, but that's how it looks right now. I also have a ton, like a plethora of peanut butter packets. So this is from Justin's, if you all have seen these in the grocery store. It's just sort of like 1 serving packets of peanut butter. Each one of these is 210 calories, so that's pretty good. So I'm gonna be bringing out some Justin's with me. Of course, I have way too many, but they sell them in bulk. So at the beginning, I will be carrying a little bit too much food. I am aware of that, but I didn't want to have to throw out half the box that I ordered from Amazon. So I'm okay with just having a couple extra things in my pack that will last me more than one stop on the AT. So those will go in here too. I have for snackage, I have some goldfish. I really love Parmesan goldfish. They're like my favorite. So I'm gonna repack these, but I'm putting some of these in here. I have some trail mix. This is just from Target. It's sweet Cajun trail mix. I feel like trail mix for me is always a good option. You get some protein, you get some carbs. In this case, there's like sugar in here because some of them are sweet. So that's gonna be really great for me. There's all kinds of trail mix. So frankly, I don't think this is gonna be something I'll get so bored with that I can't eat it anymore. Because if I can't eat one, I'll just go to the next type of it. So friendly neighborhood trail mix. Then I have some extra energy chews. So these are from Honey Stinger as well. So if I'm really feeling like some sort of a decline in like my blood sugar or whatever, I can just quickly chomp on one of these and go on my way. So that's in there. The other thing that I have for energy purposes and also just health are electrolyte packets. So I have like a couple of these. I bought these from Element. It's LMNT. I was watching YouTube and I happened to be thinking about electrolytes at the time, so I just searched like hiking electrolytes, and it's one of the more famous like Thru-Hikers who has said that they really like this brand. I have tried other brands like Noon in the past and things like that, so I haven't found anything I love. So I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I ordered them offline, and so we'll see how these go. I'll give an on-trail review of the electrolyte packets. Last thing I have that you can't really see, but is tortillas. So this is what either the peanut butter or the tuna chicken situation, I'll just wrap it up in these. So a quick way to get some extra calories, carbs, and also just switch it up if I don't want to eat off of a spoon every single meal that I have. So I can wrap it up in a little burrito thing. Again, I'll probably repack these, although the bag is pretty light. It's not that bad, but we'll see. So all of it fits in here. It will fit a little better once I'm able to repack, but I fit it all. I scrunch it down. Bring the sides together. If I can roll it, I'll roll it. Clip it. And then hang it off the carabiner. So that's pretty heavy. I mean, that's a lot of food. But again, I realize that some stuff I'm not maybe gonna have for the whole time. It's just that I have extra with me. So food bag. And then last but not least, I have my trusty water bottle. So this is my Hygiene bottle. I've had a couple different versions of these. I just got this one because some of my older versions are a little shot. This piece is looking a little bit beat up and I don't want it to fall out of my pack or off my pack if I'm hanging it off of something. So Hygiene bottle for the water. Next up is my sleeping situation. First up, I have my tent. This is my Gossamer Gear, the 2. This is a really great tent. It is not freestanding, so you do need your hiking poles to set it up. But I actually really like that feature of it. I think that it makes me feel as though the hiking poles serve more than one purpose and everything is getting kind of used at the end of the day. So fabulous tent. I've taken it on a couple of shakedowns now. I've not had one problem with it. It sets up great, it sleeps well, all of that is good. Then I have my Thermarest Neo Air sleeping pad. So this is an inflatable pad, so it's different than the closed cell foam. It does inflate into a sleeping pad. Very comfortable for the most part. Fingers crossed that I don't get any leaks or it doesn't sort of start to deflate, but really great. I am gonna keep it with the sack that you use to blow it up. I know some people get rid of that, but I actually find it really convenient. And so I'm gonna keep it kind of in this bag with all of that stuff. From a sleeping bag perspective, previously you guys heard me talk about the Big Agnes Lost Dog. I changed my mind on that. So for a couple reasons. The first being that it's really, in my opinion, heavy. So that was a synthetic bag, and it's like almost this big. It doesn't fit well in the pack, even though that's a 58-liter pack. It's just unwieldy and it's a little bit big. So even though it was really comfortable, and I'll probably keep it for overnights or car camping or whatever. So instead of that, I have a two-pronged strategy. My first thing is a custom enlightened equipment quilt. So here's my quilt right here. It's purple on the outside and sort of like a silvery gray on the inside. I love this quilt. I've taken it on a shakedown so far, and even though it was like relatively cool that night, I think it did dip into the 30s, I did not have much of an issue. A couple things that I like about it are the foot box. So it does have the option to kind of cinch down the foot box and then zip it up, so I can kind of put my feet in there, keep them enclosed and nice and warm. In really bad conditions or really cold conditions, I can stick a water bottle down there to keep my water liquid. I can put my water filter in there to keep that okay. So the foot box is a nice option that comes with this quilt. The other thing that I like are these little straps. So it does come with a couple of straps that you can use to strap one side to the other side, kind of like almost make yourself into a little burrito. And that's really good for keeping the sides kind of around you. So it's not a sleeping bag, it is an open quilt, but in the colder days, you're able to almost make yourself like most of a sleeping bag. Some of you might be going, wow, like a custom enlightened equipment sounds really fancy. I think a lot of people do the custom enlightened equipment for various reasons. In this case, I did it because I needed an extra long, because again, I'm really tall. Or maybe it was a long, I can't remember, but I wanted something that was not just like the regular length. I needed it to kind of come up to the appropriate place on my body. So that's what I got that for. It's an 850 fill down sleeping quilt, really comfy. I really like it. And bonus, if you have to do a custom one anyway, you get to play with your colors. So I was like, why not get a purple quilt? It seems kind of cute. So I'm really liking that. It's a revelation. If anybody is looking at the Enlightened Equipment website, it's a custom revelation. So that's that. Along with that though, I realized that a quilt is not as warm as a sleeping bag. And in my case, I had a 15-degree sleeping bag, and I think this might be, it's either 20 or 30-degree sleeping quilt, but of course, wind and air comes in underneath it. So I also read somewhere that you can take a bivvy, like an emergency blanket, and use that underneath it to kind of reflect your own body heat back up at you. So you'll see it's the typical like Mylar fabric. I'm gonna actually get rid of this stuff sack and just put these two things, whole kit and caboodle, into the Enlightened Equipment stuff sack, and Bob's your uncle. Now I have a sleeping strategy. So I'll be giving some on-trail reviews of how this is actually working out when it gets to be, really cold at night. Hopefully, I'm starting next week. I'm starting on March 10th. I'm hopeful that it's not going to be super cold for a super long time. I can tough it out for a couple of nights in the 30s or something. So everyone keep your fingers crossed for me. The last thing is my pillow. So luxury item right here. This is an ultralight blow-up pillow. It's the Aeros from Sea to Summit. Again, this is something that I've used on a couple of other shakedown hikes, and even just had in my day pack for a while in case I want to take a nap. For accessories, I'll be bringing a bunch of stuff. The first is maybe not an accessory, but more of like a critical item to have with me are my hiking poles. So you can see these are kind of beat up. I've had these for multiple years now, and I'll be bringing them with me to both hike and set up my tent. So here are my hiking poles right there. The Osprey Exos pack that I have has pretty much no hip belt space. So I did a couple of pack modifications to make sure that I have some pockets for various and sundry things. The first is from Gossamer Gear, a shoulder strap capable cell phone holder. So this is so I can get to my cell phone to like take cute pictures during the day or something like that. So I will be bringing this with me. The other piece is a very cute avocado design fanny pack. So this is just gonna sit right on my hips. It is from Hightail Designs, which I think you can find on their own website, but also on Garage Grown Gear, you can find that stuff. So pretty basic, there's not too much to it, but it is really pretty ultralight. So that's gonna be handy for me. I also got a little wallet. This is from Hawbuck. So this is a Hawbuck wallet. You can see it's very lightweight, not too much to it, but hopefully enough to fit some of my necessaries, which include my debit card, my credit card, some cash, just like a little bit, my license. I don't think I'm gonna bring my actual COVID card with me because I have it on an app on my phone, and I also have pictures of it, but I wanna make sure that I have my vaccination information ready to go, ready to show anybody if I need it, as well as a tick card. So I also got this from Gossamer Gear. It's a nice way to be able to kind of magnify and see ticks, as well as pick them out of your flesh if they get in there. So hopefully not, but I'll have that. I might also stick some tissues in there. As you guys can hear, I'm a little bit stuffed up, so I might throw some tissues in that bad boy. A couple other accessories that I've got with me include a head net. So this is for when it gets really buggy out. It drives me insane, so I did buy a head net. I'll probably take it out of the stuff sack, but that's what I've got there. As well as a cute little mini towel. This is a microfiber towel, just an accessory to have if I do need to do any washing or anything like that. I've got a towel to kind of dry things off. I have a comb that I'm bringing with me. It's just like an old comb from my house to keep my hair somewhat in line. We'll see how long that lasts. I have this really awesome cork ball to rub out my feet at the end of the night. So super ultra light, but probably worth the weight that it does have to be able to give myself almost like a foot massage when my feet get really sore. I have, again, sort of an accessory, but a necessity, which is my headlamp. So you'll see this is a black diamond headlamp that I got that works really well. So headlamp will be there. I also have a rain cover for my pack. So this is from Osprey, just fits right over the pack when it's raining to keep it somewhat dry. I have a multi-tool or a knife, so that will come with me. This one is from Gerber, so you'll see that come out on the trail, I'm sure. I have some gear aid patches for some of my gear, so if anything does start to leak or rip, I've got a couple patches that I'm bringing with me. Another necessity is an inhaler. So as I mentioned, I am an asthmatic, so this is gonna be coming in really handy, especially in the first couple of weeks as I'm kind of gaining some strength and also getting over this cold or this flu that I have. So definitely need to bring my inhaler with me. I really like to chew gum while I'm hiking, so I'm bringing a pack of gum with me, and I'll probably just restock every once a week or so. So I'll bring a little bit of gum, probably stick it in here for ease of access. And then last thing for sort of this area is my glasses. So I have a glasses case. I considered not going with a glasses case. This is just the one that I have from home, but I don't want to have to buy new prescription glasses on the trail. These are prescription sunglasses. These are prescription regular, just like glasses. So I don't want to have to be buying new versions of that while I'm out on the trail. Therefore, a glasses case. The last thing I should mention is that I do have a ground sheet for my tent. So this guy goes underneath your tent. It's polycro. I also got from Gossamer Gear. So it's just kind of like a crinkly material, but should help keep the floor of my tent dry. In terms of electronics, here is what I'll be bringing with me on the Appalachian Trail. The first thing I have is a Garmin InReach Mini. So for those who know what this is a GPS device that also includes some messaging functionality as well as an SOS button. So if I do get into trouble, I'm able to kind of call and people will come and rescue me. Obviously, I don't anticipate this actually happening, but for peace of mind for my family and such, I've got this available to me. So I'll be bringing the Garmin InReach. It comes with a little carabiner, so it actually can just hang right off my pack, which is nice. So that will come with me. I also bought to go with it a Garmin, I think it's called the Insight Solar. So this is a GPS watch that pairs to this. So say that I fall down a cliff or whatever, the SOS button also works from here, but this has some really other cool functionality on it too. It shows you the solar intensity, it shows you your steps. I have it set to show me sunrise and sunset time on the watch face, And then you can do things like play your music right from your watch. You can, I mean, there's so many features on this, like I don't even know what to say. But this is a cool watch and it goes right with this guy. I also am bringing with me, I think, a selfie sort of stick, if you want to call it that, kind of a camera holder. So this is for my phone, and I've used this before. So anytime you all have seen any videos of me out in the woods, it's probably been taken with this. So it extends a little bit and it has sort of this like remote, if I were to take this piece out, which obviously I haven't done in a while, you can take this little remote piece out so you can kind of shoot around. So in the spirit of giving you all some video content that you're gonna want to follow, hopefully on YouTube, and also to take some pictures, I'm gonna bring this guy with me. It's not very heavy, it's actually very lightweight. I noted it as an electronic because this piece has a stabilizer which requires it to be charged. So while you can use it without the stabilizer, it kind of doesn't make sense to do that. So this will be coming with me on the trail as well. Finally, I have a little bag packed. This was one of my original pack mods, but I replaced this with the fanny pack just because I like the fanny pack better. I could strap this to my pack, like my hip belt, if I wanted to, but I decided just to put my electronics in there because I had a little bit more than I thought. So I have an Anchor Core power charger, like power block, that I'm gonna be bringing with me. A lot of people have asked, and also one of my very lovely cousins gave me a solar charger. I'm gonna bring this instead of the solar charger because I've heard from a lot of people that have done the trail before that the solar charger does not get as much exposure to the sun on the AT as people who hike like the PCT or something would get. So you don't actually get as much use out of a solar charger on the East Coast, which is why I'm gonna bring this with me. So Anchor charger. I'm gonna bring various cords. I have a pair of headphones. This is like non-negotiable for me. I'm gonna be probably listening to a lot of music and podcasts, so I need some headphones with me. I'm bringing my phone charging cord, and then I have like the block that I can use to charge that to then charge everything else, as well as like the various and sundry cords that I need with me. I only have one of each type of cord, like attachment, because all of the electronic stuff that I have comes with like almost the same little attachment. So where I could consolidate, I'm doing that. I'm also using my hair ties as ways to keep these together, again, to solve more than one purpose. A, so I have extra hair ties, and B, so everything is kind of all together. So I need to wrap up like this cord and my headphones in hair ties, but then I can fit everything kind of back in this little box, or bag, I should say, and then zip it right up. And I have extra space in here for stuff. I don't think I will because I'm trying to go as minimal electronic as I can, but you will see that all my stuff fits in there. Here's what I'll be bringing for shoes on the AT Thru-Hike. The first and probably most important are my trail runners. So these are amazing trail runners. You can see they're already broken in. These are Ultra Lone Peak 5s. I really love the Lone Peak trail runner. I've gone through a bunch of different options. I think in one of my original videos, I said I was gonna be taking some Solomon trail runners that I've had for years and that I really enjoy. But as I got used to the Ultras, both using them in training, like walking around town, and then using these for some thru hikes like the Lone Peaks, I really got into the zero drop piece of that. So it takes some getting used to, but once I did get used to it, like the Lone Peaks are so comfortable. The toe box is amazing. They are so big, they're big enough for my toes. I used to always have issues with blisters on my pinky toes and things like that, but these little guys really help out with that. So I'm really excited to take my Lone Peak 5s. I actually did there was a sale on at, I think it was REI, the Lone Peak 5s. When the 6s came out, they had a big sale on 5s. So I actually have an additional 2 pairs of 5s sitting in my house ready to go for my sister or whoever to mail them to me on the trail once these bad Larrys wear out. So ready to go with the shoes for the trail. In camp, I really debated about camp shoes because I was like, do I really need them? Is it just additional weight, etc., etc.? But knowing myself, if these are really wet or really cold or something else, like I'm gonna wanna dry my feet out a little bit. So I'm bringing these old pair, or actually these are a new pair, but good Old Navy flip-flops. Like these are like whatever, $4.50 a pair. I wear these all the time. I've worn these since I was like a teenager. I always just, whenever mine wear out, I get a new pair. very casual flip-flops. I feel like I can wear these in town as well. I can wear these walking around to give myself a little bit of a break from having enclosed feet. In my normal life, as long as it's not winter, I am usually either barefoot or have some sort of a sandal on. I don't love closed-toed shoes, but of course, sometimes you have to wear them. So I decided that because of all of those factors, I am gonna bring some camp shoes, and I'm just gonna bring good Old Navy flip-flops. I considered things like Zero shoes. I considered like Birkenstocks. Like, I really put a lot of thought into it. And then finally at the end of the day was just like, what are you talking about? Just go, like, there's no need to spend $100 on your sandals. Just go with the $4.51. So this is a good one for budget, for people who are budget conscious as well. This is the med kit that I've been using for the past couple of years while I've been doing things like day hikes, etc. So while I don't want to replace this, I know that some of the stuff in here is not super relevant for the AT, or it's like too much and I need to replace it with other things. This bucket is what I have in my house for various injuries and things like that. As you can see, we often forget that we have a type of Band-Aid and we go buy it. And then we realize we had that type of Band-Aid, so we have like 1,000 types of Band-Aids. How am I gonna get stuff from here into here? That's the real question. So let's open this up. What do I have in here? So it comes with a little like wound care and a cuts and scrapes section. In this little packet I have, let's dump it out. I have some, let's see. This is sting relief. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but it's for insect bites. So there's only 2 packets. I'll keep that. I've got some acetaminophen and some aspirin. Those are both good options. I'll keep a pack of those. I have something that I don't know what it is, but I think it's an alcohol. Oh, it is an alcohol wipe. That's actually probably good to have, so I'll keep that. I have antiseptic towelettes, but frankly, I have Wilderness Wash and some other stuff, so I don't think I'm gonna need this. I will take that out. So that's gonna go over here. Okay, I have more aspirin, ibuprofen. Ibuprofen I have a big bottle of right here, and I'm actually just gonna pour some of these tabs into a baggie. So I'll take these little guys out. I'll take this other aspirin out because I don't feel like I need it. Acetaminophen I'll keep 2 of. I do tend to get bad headaches, so I'll keep that in. Antibiotic ointment, yeah, I'll keep one of these in as well. So I'll keep those. And then I don't know how to pronounce this, diphenhydramine, but I've actually heard people say that this is handy for the trail in certain situations. So I think it's an antihistamine. I could bring Benadryl, but I'll just keep the ones that I have right in the pack. These aqua tabs I don't actually think originally came with this med kit. I bought these originally when I was traveling overseas to treat some of my water, but as you all may know, I have a water filter instead. So this is my Katadyn Be-Free gravity filter. I am definitely taking this with me. I might repack it into a separate bag, but I don't need aqua tabs, I don't think, because I have this. What I might do is rip off like one section of these aqua tabs to keep just a little, just keep a few, just in case I get into a really sketchy area. I'm not gonna keep all of those though. So now we've cut down some of the stuff in our pack over there. This also has a pair of tweezers. These probably will come in handy. So I'll probably keep these. It also comes with this massive safety pin. Like, what? This is huge. This is for scale. Like, that's massive. What am I gonna use that for? So we're gonna throw that out, and instead we're gonna take a mini one just for purposes, but we're gonna put it in here so that we're saving a little space. We're keeping all the metal stuff together right in there. The other thing that I'm gonna put in that is a needle from a sewing kit that my aunt made me a couple years ago. If anybody does hike or are runners, you'll know that a needle is a really great way to sort of help with blisters. So the way that I usually deal with my blisters is to do what I call, or what is called, threading, where you thread a piece of cotton thread through a needle and you thread that through the blister, and then you actually leave the piece of thread in there. It sounds kind of gross and wonky, but actually it does help the blister to keep on draining, and it can really cut down the amount of time that the blister takes to heal. You do want to put some sort of like antiseptic and a Band-Aid over that to make sure you're not getting it infected while the string is still in there, and eventually you pull the string out. But to keep it a little bit drier, a needle is a good thing. I'm gonna see if I have a smaller one in here somewhere. I think I might. It's in here, so then I can keep all these metal bits together, close that up, and then that becomes part of my situation as well. So we'll close that up. I'll get some thread later and throw all of that in together. So that is from the sewing kit. So here's I'm gonna push all that stuff away. We already talked about the ibuprofen. The other thing that I'm gonna put in, and that doesn't fit in here really, but is Leukotape. So if anybody has used Leukotape before or hasn't used it, this is a really good resource for you. Again, kind of covering up things, various and sundry injuries, such as like if I need to tape my knees, I can do that with Leukotape. I have some KT tape in my home medical kit, but I think for my purposes, like Leukotape is gonna be just fine. So I'll keep the Leukotape. The other thing I am bringing, it actually for multiple purposes, is cuticle trimmers. First of all, these can double as nail clippers. So if I get like a hangnail or something, I can clip it with the cuticle trimmers. Also, though they don't look like it right now, I have really bad cuticles and I like to keep them trimmed down so they don't rip and things like that. So I'm gonna be taking some of these with me. These also can help if I get into a bad situation where I need to take something out of a wound. These are very sharp, and so they would be able probably to get in there a little bit and take something out of a wound if I have like a splinter or something else like that. So I'll be taking some of these with me. Very, very, very sharp though, so that's why I bought ones that have a little like hat on them. So that's, I think, oh, sorry, there's even more stuff in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow. I have these little mini Band-Aids. I guess these are almost like, I guess, butterfly Band-Aids. That actually I could see coming in handy. So I'll just keep the 3 of those. And then I have these Band-Aids, but like you can tell these are probably not the best brand. I have other ones in here, so I might replace with some of those, but these are just generic Band-Aids, but like, bloop, let's put those over there. Okay, then this section I have wound, care, burn, blister. Okay, so what's in here? So I have a piece of, this is just medical tape. This is not too much and it's not very heavy. I may keep this. I did take a wilderness first aid class over the summer. Hey everyone, it's Kat coming to you from Maine today. We are at the LL Bean Outdoor Discovery Center, getting ready to take a wilderness first aid class. Say hi, twin. We're here together today. I'm already first aid certified, but definitely wanted to pick up some additional skills that might be helpful for the trail. So it's a 2-day class up here in Freeport, Maine, and I'll fill you all in about how it goes later. And so, and I'm also first aid certified through Red Cross. So I might keep these just for the sole purpose of if I do need to patch up myself or somebody else, it would come in handy to have some medical tape. So it's not too heavy, it's not too much. I'm gonna keep that. I have 1 pack of gauze, which I will also be keeping, and I'm gonna keep the roller gauze in this plastic thing so it doesn't get wet and or doesn't get dirt on it. This is gonna be important if something does happen. Again, I don't anticipate something happening, but if it does, it will be really good to have a piece of roller gauze. So that's gonna stay there. I don't even know what this is. Oh, this is moleskin. Okay, so this is a piece of moleskin with like some cutouts. So I'll keep that in there as well. This is good for blisters if you all haven't used that before. This is fabulous. I have some sponges in here. To be honest, I don't know that I would use these. I think I would probably just go with the gauze and some bandage situations. So I'm gonna toss those over to the side. Of course, hindsight is always 20/20. If you get into some sort of bad medical situation, I might regret some of this at some point, but just trying to be realistic about what is actually gonna happen. The other thing is on the AT specifically, you're not that far from civilization. So worst case scenario, you treat something on the trail, but then also probably call for help. So that's what I'm gonna keep out of this situation. Let's dive into the box a little bit. So we already talked about the KT tape, but I'm gonna use Leukotape instead. These are the best Band-Aids in the world for blisters. So if anybody has not ever tried these on a blister, strongly recommend these like Band-Aid brand Hydro Seal Band-Aids. They come in a couple different shapes. This one I think is for, it says it's, oh, it doesn't say anything, but there's one that is specifically, I think, for your heels. We buy these like in multiple boxes at a time because they're so amazing. Oh, okay, here we go. We have some for the heels as well. So they're a little bit heavier because they have that Hydro Seal on them, but I am going to take some of these out and put them in. You can see that we nest our stuff, so I have some Neosporin just like in that Band-Aid box. I'm not gonna take this because I think I have some little antiseptic in there, but you could take a little Neosporin if you want. I'll take some of the heel ones, and I'll also take some of these like regular shaped ones as well. Oh, one of these might be open. Yeah, here we go. So I'll take some of these as well. You probably think like, why are you taking so many? I get a ton of blisters, and these honestly are the best things that I've ever found to deal with them. So I'm gonna be selfish in this case and take a lot of those Band-Aids. So I think I'm in pretty good shape. Let's just take out a couple like regular Band-Aids and put them in there as well. So I'll just take a few, like I don't need 10 million of them, I just need a couple. So hopefully I won't need Band-Aids that often. I will say I'm, as a person, not inclined to bandage myself. I usually just if I have like scrapes or something, I am not good at doctoring myself, so I'll usually just tough it out unless something goes wrong. But while I'm on the trail, I'm gonna try to be a little more responsible with myself so that I don't actually get some sort of like infection because I won't be showering every day, you know? So let's stuff this in here and see how it fits. So I'll do a Band-Aid section, then I'll do like a little mini meds section, I guess, with all these little tabs. Some, whatever the sting relief thing is, put that in there. I'll stash my little metal kit back in, so the tweezers and the needle and all that stuff. I'll put this back in its little home. Actually, I'll put this first. I'll put this guy, and then I think this will just sit on top. And the Leuko tape, I think, first of all, I might take some of this off so I'm not taking this big old roll of it, but I think I'll just put this, I don't think it's gonna fit in here. I'll put it separately. But if I close this little zipper, and then I close that, that's looking good. All I have to fit left is just the ibuprofen. So looking pretty good. Like this is pretty lightweight and minimal for a through hike. So we'll see how this treats me going forward. Here are some of the hygiene items that I'll be bringing with me on the Appalachian Trail. First thing I have is a toothbrush, which is this right here. You can see that it also has sort of like a cover that goes on it so that it doesn't get gross when it's in the pack with everything else. So toothbrush. I will probably be cutting it at some point to lighten up the weight a little bit, but this guy is made out of bamboo. It's already relatively light, but here's the toothbrush and the cover that I'll be bringing with me to start. For toothpaste, I've actually been doing this for a couple of years. These are toothpaste like bits. So you just pop one of these in your mouth, maybe with like a little bit of water, you chew it up, swish it around, and then you have sort of like single-use toothpaste without a lot of waste involved. So these are a little bit lighter weight than a toothpaste, like a tube of liquidish or paste-ish toothpaste. And I've been using them as I've been traveling for the last few years. So really great option. Just put them in a little baggie instead of their normal, like I think they came in a glass container. So toothpaste bits, ready to go. Also have some floss right here because as they say in Pretty Woman, you should not neglect your gums. So wanted to make sure that I'm keeping up my dental health while I'm on the AT. This is not maybe necessarily a hygiene item, but something that's really important to me to bring is a tube of Burt's Bees or some other chapstick, but Burt's Bees is my favorite. I want to make sure that I have some sun protection on my lips as well as moisturizer because I tend to get drier lips and I don't want them to start cracking and that would just be uncomfortable. Similarly, for sun protection, I have like a little mini thing of Sunbum sunscreen. This is SPF 50. So I want to make sure that when it becomes sunny out, especially now without any trees, even though it's winter and I'll be mostly covered up, I'm still going to have some sun exposure on like my face and things like that. So want to make sure that I'm all protected. I also am bringing Body Glide. For those of you who may not have used Body Glide in the past, you may be aware that this is for chafing purposes. I'm sure that as I get sweaty and as salt starts to build up on my legs and things like that, I'll start to chafe. So I did bring a little bit of Body Glide to help with some of those hot spots. I got some picaridin or picaridin. This is insect repellent lotion that is apparently a little bit easier on your gear than regular insect repellent that contains DEET. So apparently DEET breaks down your pack and your tent and things like that a little bit faster. This is apparently better for your gear. So we'll see how this lotion works. I wish I could have got a smaller bottle, honestly, this is the smallest one I could find. So, you know, it's hopefully lasts me a pretty long time because it's big. I also have a little bit of wilderness wash. So not a ton, but I wanted to make sure that I have something to wash if I get really nasty, I want to be able to wash myself off, or like my cook pot if I do end up putting any food in there and that gets gross, or that little stasher bag that I'm gonna put my food in. Want to just make sure I have some soap somewhere to get some stuff off. Similarly, I've got a couple different wipes options. I have like Gaia wipes and wilderness wipes. These are really just left over from past hikes. I am planning to set these out to dry, and then I'm gonna reconstitute them with water on the trail. So this is a really good way to save weight if you dry these out before you go, and then you put water in them when you're on the trail, then you have your wipes ready to go. So those are for mostly like in my tent at night, kind of wiping myself down, making sure I'm checking for ticks by getting some of the dirt off so I can see if a speck is like a problem speck or if it's just dirt. So that's that. Then I have my handy dandy bathroom accoutrements. So for those who have seen my videos before, I am going to be using a Kula cloth. So this is just like a pee rag that is made out of some pretty nice material. It straps onto your pack for drying and for airing out. So really handy there. It's going to save on toilet paper. So I am going to bring some toilet paper with me, of course, but I wanted to do my part in leaving no trace as much as I can. So pee cloth, and then toilet paper for not pee. I have a pee style similar to Go Girl, other of these. This is for really when I don't want to get out of my tent in the middle of the night, but I have to pee. I'm going to use this and pee into an empty water bottle and then toss that into the woods in the morning. Not the bottle, of course. So since I don't really want to like scare the bears in the middle of the night, I'm going to use that. And then of course, my handy dandy little trowel. Again, it's just been wrapped up since my last hike, so this is gonna be handy for when I need to bury various waste items. There are a couple of things that I've decided not to take on the Appalachian Trail that I think I probably originally said that I was going to in some of my past videos. So some of this comes from doing shakedowns and figuring out how it works. Some of it comes from advice from other people, and some of it just comes from a little bit of extra research. The first and the biggest thing that I'm not bringing with me on the AT is my water bladder. So this is an Osprey Hydraulics water bladder with like a magnetic piece that goes onto the chest strap and is fantastic. I love this water bladder. I've never done really in the last, as long as I can remember, I've never done a hike without a water bladder in my pack that I can just kind of sip out of and go from there. However, that being said, first of all, this is like a 3-liter bladder. So most of the time, and what I've read and heard from other hikers, is you probably only need like 1 liter at a time. So I don't need this big honkin' thing kind of taking up space in my pack, and it's going to be really heavy if I put 3 liters in it. 3 liters would be 6.6 pounds of water. So that's a lot of weight to add to the pack. The other reason though is that I did try to bring this on one of my shakedown hikes and I successfully fit it in the pack. But because I have frankly a lot of stuff, may not seem like a lot, but it is a lot of stuff. The pack is pretty full. It's only a 58-liter pack. This tends to get really squished down in the back of the pack. And so I was filling it and like I couldn't fit it filled in the pack. So it almost defeats the purpose of it. If you can't put it where it's supposed to go in the pack, if you can't thread this through the back and then attach it to your chest strap for drinking, it's like there's no purpose to it. So I think I'm not going to bring it for that reason. And finally, one of my good friends, Graham, mentioned that he's like a big mountaineer. He does a lot of hiking in New Hampshire and he does like big miles and needs a lot of water all the time. But he does mostly day hiking, I think. And he said that he's heard from other people and maybe experienced himself that the inside of this is going to get pretty gross pretty quick. So when I come home from a hike, from like a day hike or even an overnight, I wash this out immediately. I like wash the hose of it in my sink. But of course, I'm not going to have the opportunity to do that. So Graham was like, it's going to get pretty gross in there. Probably not the best idea. You're not going to want to, like, this is just another chore in town to wash it. And even then, it's not going to be as clean as you probably always want it to be. So for that reason, or for all those reasons, I'm going to not bring this with me. So I'll put that over here. Another thing I've talked about in the past are these emergency matches. So these are supposed to be like windproof emergency matches. These actually, I have used on some shakedown hikes, and they've been good. You know, I've been able to obviously like start fires with them and stuff, but my friend Graham also helped me do a little bit of an at-home shakedown, and he kind of made me question why I have this as well as a lighter. So I probably don't need both, and because I want to save some weight, I'm gonna put those over to the side. The other thing I'm not bringing, I have had a mini thing of insect repellent that's just like your normal everyday bug spray, but I'm not gonna bring this because A, I have my picaridin or picaridin bug repellent or insect repellent, and B, I think this does have DEET in it, which again is supposed to be a little bit worse for your gear. Like it breaks your gear down a little bit faster. So because of that, and because I don't need 2 things of insect repellent, I'm gonna put that off to the side as well. And then the last thing that I've talked about probably before are toilet paper coins. So toilet paper coins in concept are really cool. These are little coins of compressed cotton toilet paper that when you open this up and you put water on one, it turns into like a moist cotton towelette. Really cool in concept. I would have repacked this probably into not a plastic container. And I bought like a bunch of these just to try them out. But a couple of problems with it. First of all, this is not the type of toilet paper that you are allowed to bury. I know that there are, it's a little bit of a contentious subject whether you should even be burying your toilet paper at all, but even if you were going to, you cannot bury this one because it's made of cotton and it turns into a towel. So even though it says like compostable all over the place, to know your sort of leave no trace facts or tenets, you would know that you can't, this is not something that you're actually allowed to bury. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna bring it out there if I can't bury it. I already have some wet wipes in the case that I feel like I need that. Thank you all so much for watching and for the love and support that you've shown as I prepare for my upcoming through hike of the Appalachian Trail. I've got about 4 days left at home, hoping to just finalize a couple of things, and I'll see you when I'm out there.